Eco-village of Kin's Domain, Rodno, native place. Film 1, Summer. Film production company Chelovek presents Film Rodno.
В учебнике новейшей истории начала 21 века
In textbook of newest history of the beginning of the 21st century will be defined as the dawn of the land of Russia. People who, tired of town's vanity and poisoned air, have turned to the land to create the Kin's domains. On a piece of land, as much as 1 hectare, they have started to plant gardens and woods, building houses. The earth has sensed kind touches of the hands of men and loved them back. Amazing things are happening here. This big, beautiful field is now called Eco-Village, Rodno, and this piece of land is being cultivated by one of the founders of the Eco-Village, Molchanov's family.
Вот это имение, как бы оно закладывалось для того, чтобы человек приехал и понял, что это возможно.
Anatoly and Sasha Molchanovs.
Можно обработать гектар.
This estate was laid for a man to come here and understand that it is possible. It is possible to build a house. It is possible to cultivate a hectare. It is possible to live happily on this land. And for children here to be so healthy and strong and independent. It's a joy to see so many young people here. Children from 3 months to 16 years old. There are so many children here, and children like to be here. They are changed for the good.
Нравится самим детям, и дети меняются здесь в благостную сторону.
Здесь мой дом.
Tatiana Molchanova. Here is my home, and even if I come to houses where I used to live before, there are parcels of land and flowers there as well, but I miss these spaces. The most important for a man is to consider this piece of land as his own, for a man to feel responsibility for this land, and for the land to feel that the man lives on it, and all the rest will come. It's just a matter of time. I just like that. I may come to any end of my plot and pick something. I have bushes and trees growing all around. Here there was just some hay laid down and potato was growing for 2 years. Then I just raked it up and made some beds. Everything is just good, as garlic, as tomato. I mean, I never dig it up here. I make the beds with the use of flat-cutting plow. And now you see, everything is growing. Here was some hay laid down in the summer. Then we took off the hay and put some potato in rows and put the hay back on. And that's all. You don't water it. Don't earth it up. Don't weed. Don't collect potato beetle. And don't dig it up. Here is how I dig it up. Lift the shrub, and here we have it all clean, nice, lying right on the surface. I never go to my garden with a spade. You don't need to wash it hard. It is not affected. Here I pulled up some potato shrubs yesterday to boil a pot of potato, the one I brought you yesterday to treat you. Next year, on this bed, you can plant something else. A carrot, for instance. Potato you may plant in a different place. The space between beds is mowed through, and that's all. You don't earth it up. Do nothing. It's a pleasure. And then I put everything back. The grass, and leave it all till the spring. In spring I lift the hay up. Look what a soil here. This soil never being turned up. Everything, roots and greens are rotten into humus. There are heaps of worms in spring. The soil becomes good, soft, friable, even in this drought.
Всех очень пугает отсутствие денег.
Many are afraid of lack of money. It's a stereotype that if you have money, then everything is possible. Everything is going well. Although here is our field which proves that in general people who live here and finished construction of their houses do not have money, whereas those who have money and keep earning them, They still live in Moscow. They are still there. It appears that when you go to town from here for 2 or 3 days only, you can do much more during this time comparing to what you can do if you were living in town for a month. Because at first, your energy is different. And at second, speed of your thoughts is different. You think in absolutely different way. To create your own nest of kin, it is not just one's desire and knowledge of ecological agriculture needed, but also new awareness. Consumer approach is non-viable there. Social environment here accustoms you for a bit different, that you first have to give something without expectations. Just give, and don't think to receive anything in exchange. Here is what is most difficult for us to overcome, because we were formed by urban environment as consumers. Everybody knows how many problems a man faces in town, but in eco-village, Rodno, for those who live here, the word problem assumes absolutely different meaning. Our tremendous big problem is our lake, because we have a big flow of people coming for holidays. They bring so much alcohol that we have to remove empty bottles by cars. You are the only ones to clean it up, perhaps. Well, now they've begun to clean it up. We want to live in a clean space. Therefore, it's easier for us to clean it up than to prove him he is wrong. But they like to come to a clean place every time. We noticed that. I mean, if we don't clean it up here, they will camp there in a clean place. The same people. You have to write warning signs. No, it is useless. You see, it must come from inside. When we just started and we came at first time, there was just no place to step. So we just take some bags and go, all 3 of us, and begin to clean it up. For instance, they're relaxing, and we are starting to clean it up around. When a child approaches, pulls off an empty bottle from under a big guy and puts it into a sack. This touches him deeply, and there are changes, really. We used to collect the bottles before, and now leave empty bags, and they at least put the bottles into the bags. So we only remove the bags. What is pleased is that you can see all these changes. While living here, changes for good. I mean, it is not like you live and see anything is going worse, but on the contrary, you live and see it is getting better, day by day. And it's a joy for a soul. Yes, you see, in Moscow, we're simply living as a family. We're simply earning money, and here is such an eventful life. We have so many guests, and every guest brings something into your home, which this rejoices us. Having thanked Molchanov's family for cordial hospitality, we moved further around the eco-village. An unusual action awaited us ahead. Erection of an Adobe house in Kin's domain of Irina and Yuri.
Глина, песок, солома. Соотношение, очень важно соотношение глины и песка. 1 к 4. 4 части песка, 1 глины. Значит, фундамент внизу подземный из щебня, вот этого вот, крупной фракции. Внизу сделана дренажная труба по всему периметру.
Here we use clay, sand and straw. It is very important, the ratio between the clay and the sand. It must be 1 to 4. 4 parts of sand and 1 part of clay. The underground basement is made out of the gravel of large fraction. Drainage pipe is laid underneath, all the way around to drain the subsoil water, which is very high here. Could you tell about the project? It is ready-made, or yours. The project is ours. I have got an idea to build a ring-shaped house, and I have read a lot about straw. I mean that I wanted to build a house of straw. So this construction is not very expensive? It is reasonably not expensive. You know, I will tell you what. Imagine that I go to work to build a house for someone else in order to earn money to build a house for myself. I mean, I build a house for a stranger, earn some money and give this money to other strangers for them to build me a house. Sounds like nonsense, doesn't it? And here I make my own house. I make it with my own hands, with hands of my friends and other people who are interested. There are many people working on construction site. Who are they? Hired people? These people are my friends, sunny bards. And will you go to help them build a house later? Yes, of course. It seems to me in old days people used to do it this way. all folk gathered together and built a house. And later on, when I already have a house, it is much easier for me to go and build a house for someone else. All this is very handy. There are no dangerous construction techniques where following safety requirements is needed. There are no dangerous construction materials like concrete, silicate bricks, cement. All these are energetically unfavorable materials that take energy of man, whereas clay always gives energy. You can make 2 circles a day. It dries out completely in hot, dry weather. In fact, I embody my dream into reality.
День можно делать по 2 круга. Он высыхает полностью, когда жаркая, сухая погода. В общем, воплощаю свою мечту в реальность.
Дом мой, сад мой, лучше всех богатств на свете. Дом мой, сад мой, снятся мне давно. Дом мой, сад мой, сотворю я на планете. Дом мой, сад мой, будут все равно. Будут все равно. Будут все равно.
After learning the basis of construction works, our camera squad was kindly accepted in Kin's domain of Vladimir Kostin. Vladimir told us about new ways of ecological agriculture, planting vegetables without chemical and mechanical treatment of land.
Вот эта вот грядка, я посадил огурцы. Вот они сейчас как раз период бурной завязи. Вот они только начинают пробиваться. Вот. Я ее просто немножко обработал плоскорезом.
See this bed? I planted cucumbers here. It is just a rapid ovary time now. They have just started. I worked this bed out slightly with a flat-cutting plow, put a layer of straw, a little bit of muck, then another layer of straw and another layer of muck, and the result appears to be unexpected even for me. I have watched it here. Everything is growing much better in grass. The grass makes a difference somehow. As far as I noticed, at first it protects against cold. Then there is some kind of biological influence. The grass, by its biological character, is very powerful, and so it gives its energy, and cultivated plants start to adapt to it. Here I have a little experiment I conducted. I had some spare sprouts, and trying to find the use for them, I planted them here, a few tomato sprouts. I was doing nothing at all. They don't need to be tied up. The grass supports them. Yes, you see how fruitful they are. I was surprised a little bit because this option had no treatment at all, and yet they have brought the best result. What about weeds? Do you fight them somehow? I just cut the grass around and then throw the grass onto the bed. And this young greens, young grass, it turns into very good fertilizer straight away. It is washed through by rains, begins to rot, and so all plants grow into such extensive growth. I can show you a sample.
И вот эту траву сразу бросаю на грядку. И вот эта вот молодая зелень, молодая трава, она сразу, в общем-то, дает сильное удобрение. Вот она сразу промывается дождем, сразу начинает гнить, и, в общем-то, вот растения идут в такой вот бурный рост. Я могу в качестве примера показать вот.
It's a turnip, isn't it? Yes, it's a turnip, has grown here. Another thing I noticed, everything I grow in the grass has absolutely different taste. Even this onion, it is sweet. Here are some peas I tasted today. It's just sugar-like. This turnip is also very tasty, very sweet. Please take some.
Вот репку я всех своих там угощаю. Вот очень вкусно, очень сладко, тоже можете попробовать.
Сладкая.
It is sweet, very delicious. Such a nice flavor.
Я сейчас начинаю разрабатывать контакт с растениями. И вот именно работать через мысль.
Now I begin to work out a contact with plants. I will work through a thought, will form their taste, and will form the space. They understand everything, your talk, your feelings. In fact, sometimes you look and see how they try to be their best. How way you notice that they understand, they feel. How does it appear? It does not come on mental level. Perhaps it comes on senses level instead. I look at this pea and I see its character. I prompt it and I see that it has really found more reasonable way than others. The matter is that when you live in harmony with nature, it reveals its secrets and gives you its energy. When I go to town, say I spend 3 days in Moscow, then I come back and I feel myself like sick.
Ну, не знаю, я в город уезжаю когда, вот 3 дня я в Москве побуду, и я оттуда уже возвращаюсь как больной.
And to wash away the dust of the town and to get good spirits back, Vladimir created a small pond on his land.
Но все равно он очень большой.
It plays a very big role to my benefit. I get up in the morning, do some exercises, and jump into it. Is it deep here? It's about chest deep. We could not find the hostess of the estate, and so we got interested in the private life of Vladimir.
Я, конечно же, не собираюсь там дальше жить один. Вот. У меня будут дети.
Of course, I'm not going to live alone any further. I will have children. I can tell even more. I had a night dream about my future son, but probably I'm not ready for him yet, because these children are those with completely new consciousness.
Дети совершенно нового сознания.
The question about state support of kin's domains is now discussed by many politicians and scientists, and we at first were interested to hear the opinions of kin's domains creators themselves.
Мы все находимся в стадии становления.
We're all at the stage of establishment. If you just look at Soviet Union's times, they used to build collective farms, state farms. You see the state-subsidized construction of roads, farms, houses, absolutely everything. Power lines. I mean, they brought people to more or less good conditions and they began to work. Now, we don't have anything like that. We do it all ourselves. Absolutely everything. The state doesn't play any role here at all. You see, every man is self-sufficient. Every man is able to secure himself. Just have to think. And what is happening here, what is not solved in that social environment is being clearly revealed here. If I was able to earn money in that environment, I do not have such a problem here. And she either. We are entrepreneurs. I mean, we learned it out there, and possibilities of earning money are much greater here. They say the state must do something, but I believe the state owes us nothing. We are able to do everything ourselves. I mean, the state begins with a man. If a man is self-sufficient, the state is self-sufficient too. If a man is vulnerable, then the state is vulnerable. The practice shows that a man can go on his own. The main point is not to prevent him. And what more, a man, if they don't prevent him, can cheerfully and frankly rejoice. The more that the reason for that was most suitable. On the 23rd of July, all people here celebrate the Day of All Earth. On this day, people with special feeling glorify native land. With love they touch generous motherland and fill it up with joyful songs and dances in a ring.
Земля, она начинает плодородить тогда, когда ты ее начинаешь славить. Когда ты ее начинаешь...
The earth, it begins to bring fruits when you begin to glorify it. When you begin to love it, then you actually treat it like a living being. And the fact that we have this newly born holiday, it's a very big deal. Respect to earth is formed in people at the least. Furthermore, I understand that earth is living organism. And what we do here, I mean this holiday with our energy, with our joy, we fill in the whole planet with this energy. And this is what is needed so much.
И это очень-очень нужно.
A lot of guests arrived here for the holiday from Moscow and nearby villages. Eco-villagers generously treated them with gifts of nature collected from their land. Yulia Matvieva. I got up this morning, smiled at the sun, sang a little song to it, ate some berries that got ripped by this time, blackcurrant, raspberry, cherry, baked some vegetable marrow pancakes and brought them here to treat my friends. We dance in a ring here, sing songs. This way we celebrate. The concert. Along with all unrestrained joy of the fiesta, there were no alcohol drinks at all. Svetlana Stekolnikova. It is revelation of the roots, how it was in old days, primordially Russian. Completeness of the soul is here, the space, its Russian spirit here, the spirit of Rusland. The cultural program of the fiesta was not meant to divide into spectators and actors. The event was taking place right under the open sky on the common field. The musical part was inspirationally worked by bards invited from Moscow and Krasnodar regions. And nationwide favorite folklore songs found their sounds on strings of caravan of sunny bards. Specifically to the day of All Earth Rodno villages, Valery Murashkin and his wife, Tatiana, prepared a puppet show.
Привет, квакушки! Чего это вы на голову-то напялили? О, да это же буквы! А зачем?
Понимаешь, Топтыгин, мы теперь КВА живем по-новому.
По-новому мы живем, понял?
Учет КВА. У нас растет КВА. Кваков.
Amongst invited friends were guests from Yasnogorsk town of Tula region. Folk group Chestushka fired us up in all their beauty. There are people with open hearts here. It's such a pleasure to socialize with them because they are giving, and energy exchange, it is stunning.
Обмен энергиями потрясающий.
каждый новый рассвет нам приносит надежду, озаряя наш путь в океане безбрежно, и начнет этот день словно с чистой страницы, и любовь как мечта в новой песне родится. Чистые сердца, ты вправе сам построить новый день для всей планеты. Ты в силах изменить свою судьбу дыханием света. Ты только оглянись вокруг, твое сердце лучший друг, и наступит новый миг рассвета. Чистые сердца, едином пламени Творца.
Столько друзей встретили,
Oles and Olga.
радостных.
So many friends we have met here, so many joyful impressions. The places are glorious, simply unique. Even mosquitoes here, came from the time out of mind.
Хорошо, когда себя нашел, и прекратилось вечное мучение. Хорошо, когда вопрос решен, и знаешь ты свое предназначение. Хорошо, как хорошо, когда ты, наконец, имеешь силу эту, чтобы обнять душой свою планету и превратить в цветущий сад. Чтобы обнять душой свою планету и превратить в цветущий сад.
Who wants to dance in a ring? Come here.
Украшением праздника были
Adornment of the fiesta was joyful, dances in a ring, where all comers took place.
Встречали молодую зарю, красавицу лучистую, вместе славили богов ангел. Гимн солнцу ясному, ой, придем, ой, ты леди-ладалелюшка, ой, ты ладалели-ладушка, ой, ты леди-ладалелюшка, ой, ты ладалели-ладушка.
Чем больше праздников, тем больше радости. К сожалению, мы отучились радоваться.
The more holidays, the more joy. Unfortunately, we forgot how to rejoice naturally. The social system over-organized us to such an extent that holidays, they became like an extension of this everyday routine. We got used to the fact that someone else cheers us up and that we are being organized in these holidays. We wait for this or that sort of management. Everything's happening much simpler here, more naturally. People come and naturally express their emotions, and the more such natural holidays will be, the more joy on the earth will come.
Чем больше будет вот таких естественных праздников, тем радостнее на земле будет.
Если полетели тебе камни вслед, ты своих камней не бросай в ответ. Выложи очаг, разведи огонь, и руками струны тихонечко тронь. Солнце мое, это ты, море и радость.
When the sun went down below the horizon, the merriment slowly moved from the center of the field to the lake shore. The huge bonfire burst out, and again the holiday fired up sparkles of joy and happiness in people's hearts.
Мы забыли давно, чьи же мы сыновья. Каждый тварью давали свое назначение. Всех задутков достатке мы жили, друзья. Он, она, те, другие и я. Чтобы в радости жить, нужно сад заложить. На земле ой, не будет пусть ран, как цветы расцвели, по планете пошли родовые поместья мирян.
The All-Earth Day celebration in eco-village Rodno came to an end. After having a good time, pleased people began to leave to their houses and tents. The bonfire burns the last wooden logs and goes into darkness. Everything is standing still in expectation. As every night gives way to dawn, so a new day will come and warm us up with the rays of life.
Ты посмотри, как солнце красиво садится за холм, и обрати внимание, как облако машет крылом. Звезды в небе в ожидании. О, как красиво мироздание! Люди в разных краях земли верят в мечты свои, и, возвращаясь из века в век, снова живет человек. Розовый свет разлился по небу, и так хорошо. Так много лет мы ходим по свету и дарим тепло. Ветер нам волосы ласкает, солнце дорогу освещает. Люди в разных краях земли верят в мечты свои, и, возвращаясь из века в век, снова живет человек. Снова живет человек.
Всему началом
A human's thought serves to begin it all. You see, these people thought it up from the beginning, their kin's domain's creation, for children and grandchildren to live in garden, in paradise. And people took wild bushy land that was meant to be abandoned, and here they have started to embody their thoughts into reality. With love and caress touching their native land, they were planting trees and flowers, building roads to make it easier to drive to their kin's domains, where they were erecting houses of any type, some made of wood, some of clay, adobe houses, and many were in no hurry to build a house and lived in tents, in temporary dwellings, all summer long. But the main thing that attracted them was their native land that generously moved them back and gave them warmth and fruits, and seeds were sprouting, and trees were growing up, following beautiful dream of man. They strived to eternity. Everything is coming together for them. When it's difficult sometimes, no money for construction, it is not so important. What's more important is that they have their dream, and it is beautiful and strong, and it is embodied on the first material level of being. After a short time, those who were faithful to their dream, did not betray, and was not frightened, will join 3 levels of being into single point in their king's domain, and will be living happily forever.
Сумеет все 3 плана бытия соединить в одну лишь точку в родовом своем поместье, и будет счастлив он в веках.
Descendants will be filled with the joy of realization that they have their own, their native space, and we will proudly say that Russia, our motherland, appeared to be the motherland of divine dream.
Божественной мечты.